Hello, arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Today we're going to be doing, I believe we're almost at 50 now. Let's take a look here and see. I think we're, okay, our last one was 48 with Michael B. He was our live special guest last Sunday. That was our 48th. So this will be 49, and next Sunday will be 50. So I want to do something special. I don't know if it'll be like amazing, giveaway or something like that, but I want to do something for the 50th live stream, because I think that's an accomplishment. You do this every week, same time, every Sunday. You would think after 50, you should do something. You should celebrate. So next Sunday, hopefully I'm here. Hopefully I don't change our plans. Normally I always am. So, plan on being here next Sunday. We do have another special guest lined up for next Sunday. I know a lot of you guys have helped out with the restream costs, and I was able to collect quite a bit a couple weeks ago, which helped me pay for the restream for the year. So we're good for the entire year, and my plan is to have a guest every other week. And I've already got one lined up for next week. That'll be number 50. So not only will we have the special guest, we'll also do something special for the audience, and I believe it's going to be a giveaway. I don't know exactly what we're doing yet, but probably a giveaway, but nothing spectacular, nothing crazy. So just to kind of celebrate. But let's say hi to everyone who's in the chat, everyone who's made it so far. It looks like Jason was the first one in the chat today when I had posted it. He says, "Good evening, Biggie D's Arcade. Hope your weekend was awesome. Been storming outside all day, so this will make for a nice distraction. Hope everyone in the chat is as well. Hope everyone's having a good weekend." And we're just having some sunny, warm weather here. Getting kind of cold at night into the 50s, but in the day we're getting up in the 80s. Still dry as can be, dry as a bone here, but good to hear you're getting some storms. Hopefully you'll send them our way, because we could definitely use them here in Arizona. Paul's here as well. He's saying, love to see some CES chat already. 1 month to go. What's up? So yeah, we've got CES coming up. And I wanted to kind of get the ball rolling on that, kind of get a head start on that discussion, because it starts January 9th. So we're less than a month away now, and kind of want to get that discussion going, and we'll kind of lead into that, or kind of, make that the topic of discussion leading into each live stream until the 9th of January, because that's what we're all anticipating. We're all waiting for is, what is Arcade1up going to do this year? We had John D last year and years prior to where he would give us a lot of information and give us a lot of hints and inside information to get us going and get our anticipation going for CES. This year, we don't really have a lot of anything to base anything off of now that John's gone. We don't get a lot of those, leaks and those, little things that John D would drop in the live stream every so often to give us a hint or an idea of what's coming. We don't have that this year. So we'll kind of look back at last year, what happened last year, and then kind of use that as something we can compare it to and possibly give us a roadmap or an idea of what could happen this year. So good to hear you're wanting to hear CES, Paul, because I'm definitely wanting to as well. Jason, he's saying it's him, Paul. He made it. He actually showed. You're in the presence of royalty, folks. Yeah, definitely good to see Paul, and warm welcome from Jason there. Gregory's here. He's saying, go Eagles. I'm definitely going for the Cowboys right now. It was halftime last time I checked, and the Cowboys were up quite a bit. I think it was like 21 or 24 to 3 or 6 or something like that. But I know they were winning whenever I turned it off. Hopefully that continues throughout this live stream, so when we get done, I see the Cowboys have won. We need a win. We need a win badly against the Eagles too, Gregory, because you guys beat us last time. So we got to even that up. Carl O, he's saying, hope the show is fast and I don't get furious. So yeah, there's going to be fast and furious talk, mainly because we had the recent deals this last week on Fast and the Furious at $3.99. We've also got some new products that are available for Fast and the Furious if you're interested in modding your cabinet. And then also we've got interesting news from Mystery Encoder, that may next month give us another option as well. Denise Chan is here. 2023 is coming to an end, so bid farewell to 2023. 2024 is on its way. Absolutely. We are very close. We're only a few weeks away now. So, we'll get into what's coming next year. And we're just right around the corner now. Brent Metz is here. He's saying, hey, guys, my Costco is dropping their Pac-Man prices. They have 10 left, waiting for that clearance. Now, I did see $4.99 Pac-Man XL. I may have even seen a $3.99 out there, so a $400 Pac-Man XL on either Reddit or Facebook. So it looks like the Costco's are kind of doing their own pricing based on each store and how much inventory they have left. So you might find some really deep discounts on a Pac-Man XL at your local Costco, but that won't be every one of them. Soul Red's here. He's saying, hi, all. Good to see you, Soul Red. And Paul's saying, get that Pac-Man XL, Brent. And I had to pay full price, and he doesn't regret the full price. Mike Hawkhurts, he is a new member. Welcome to the Biggie D's Arcade Gamers membership. I surely appreciate the support, Mike. Not only does it help, support the channel so we can do bigger and better things with this and give you guys a better viewing experience, it's also going to give you extra emojis in the chat you can use, as well as in the future, I want to do like member-only live streams, videos, and some other things for you guys as well to show you how much I appreciate your support. And we're going to have a lot of time off here around the holidays, so that's something I'm going to need to make a focus on, is providing our members more of an exclusive experience. That way they're getting something with that, other than just, the tag and the badge and the emojis. Carlo, he's a new member as well. Biggie D's Arcade Gamers. Good to see Carlo is now our member, or a member of the channel. Carlo says the Texas Outlaw, Biggie D. He's always calling me the Texas Outlaw. Cyan Spirits is here. He goes, are you ready for Fast and the Furious, Biggie? I bet that buy stuff can make you a riser. And that's what I'm hoping. And we're going to get into Fast and the Furious. We don't currently have a riser or a booster yet for it. But I'm hoping, and we can kind of look at the actual dimensions and the way this thing is cut and the side panels, and could they even make a booster? I'm not sure. I'm not completely 100% sure they could make a booster, and maybe that's why there is a delay. We'll have to look at it. Mike Hawkhurt says, I had one of the rare Costco's that sold out, cleared the spot, and recently brought them back. So they're selling these out. I'd said, a month or two ago that Costco was selling these out, and I'd gotten a lot of pushback from people like P-Dubs, like, how do you know they're being sold out? And you could just hear it in the audience, in the community. People are talking about how their local Costco's are completely out of these. And it's good to hear Mike say that they are reinvesting in those. They're buying more of them. So then we can continue to use Costco as a source for Arcade1up. Hopefully they'll get more inventory too, like Best Buy, and have a full selection of arcades there in store. Let's see. Bozo, Calvin Jr. is here. He's saying, hey, Biggie D. Evening, everyone. And in the chat, Jim B. I'm drinking Jim Beam tonight. It says, waiting to see that Christmas credit card charge, saying that AtGames 4KP is on the way. And Jim, we're going to get into a lot of discussion on AtGames tonight. I'm so close to wanting to get one of these AtGames 4KPs. I just can't afford it really. And maybe though when they release and I see that people are getting theirs, the FOMO will kind of take over and I'll end up charging mine on a credit card and just end up paying it off over time. But I'm very close to doing that. I got to have one of these. I'm loving the pinball. I'm loving what Zen is doing. They're continuously always coming out with new licenses, new tables, and it's exciting. And I enjoy playing them on the consoles, but actually playing them on a real pinball machine with this 4K resolution, the big back box, I just don't think you can match that experience on a console or on a PC. You really have to have that virtual pinball table to get that experience. So let's start here, guys, first with CES. So we're going to lead this live stream tonight with CES talk. And basically, this is a convention that happens every year, happens at the first, second week of January in Las Vegas, and it's the Consumer Electronics Show. So basically, your big heavy hitter electronic companies are going to be showing off their brand new products for 2024. A lot of these products you've never heard of before. There was no leak. There was no information on this. They are unveiling this stuff for the very first time at this show. So it's very big. It's a real big event to kind of get the year going and to kind of get out of Christmas and the holidays and get back into the groove of producing new stuff that we want. And Arcade1up, they've been at this event, and it's kind of different. You know, like last year, they weren't actually at the event. They weren't on the showroom floor. They were in a hotel room by the event. So anyone who was attending CES could head over to their hotel room, take a look at what they had to show, and ask their questions, get their videos, and make their articles or whatever they're going to be, giving us, as far as content. And it's kind of tough, doing it out of a hotel room. It's just not quite the same as being on the showroom floor. It just doesn't have that draw to it. It doesn't have that excitement behind it. You're going away from the event into this room to see these machines. Are you really getting these people to buy into this product? Are you really getting the people's full attention when you're doing it in this way? And I just don't know if you really are. I know there are a lot of costs involved in getting a booth at CES, but it could be worth it. I mean, if you're going to go to the event, you would think that you would want to actually be at the event, not just buy it. But we'll see what happens this year. We still don't know, whether or not they're going to be there. If they are going to be there, are they going to have a booth? Or are they going to be in a hotel room again like they were last year? We really don't know. We don't have all this inside information or these contacts like we did last year to figure all this stuff out ahead of time. Now, it does sound like Arcade1up is going to be at CES. We had Mike B on the show last week, and we were talking about this a little bit. And from him, he didn't tell us yes or no they were gonna be there, but he didn't deny that they were gonna be there. And it didn't sound like he was trying to, get us ready or keep us from getting our hopes up. It sounded like he was okay with us getting our hopes up that they were going to be at CES. And it seemed like he was okay with us speculating on these new cabinets, because it sounds like, and what I'm taking from him, that they are going to be there, and there are going to be some new cabinet announcements there. So everything's leading into that this is going to happen, and we just don't know what it's going to be yet. So I want to get into that, discuss what it could be, what we think it might be, and also get your input out in the audience of what you think that, or what you would like to see at CES. Soul Red saying he's really hoping for a Smash TV. And I think that's, the most known one of all the cabinets that could potentially be there is this Smash TV Robotron 2084 cabinet. This is the one that they talked about long ago. I think it was back in May on one of their live streams. And they had Raw Thrills there. And forgive me for the name here. And you guys may have to help me out in the chat. But they had the creator of Robotron 2084, creator of Smash TV on the live stream. And you guys will have to help me in the chat on his name, because it's just right over my head right now, and I can't even remember, and I didn't even prepare to discuss this. This is just kind of random discussion I'm talking right now. So, but he was on the live stream, and he had said and mentioned a possible Smash TV or Robotron cabinet. And it was one that he had hoped that they would do. And the question that was posed to him, the exact question was, what Arcade1up cabinet would you like to see made? If it was possible, which one would you like to see made? And he had said Robotron 2084 and Smash TV. And that was our first kind of like leak or information that this could actually happen. And that was back in May. So that was a long time ago. And Bozo's saying, yeah, he would love to see Narc, Total Carnage, Smash TV. So the creator of these games, and it's just bothering me right now, so I'm going to look it up right here, is Eugene Jarvis. Eugene Jarvis. So can't believe I couldn't remember that right offhand. I've covered Eugene many times, so it was surprising I couldn't remember his name just now. But he had said that that was the one cabinet he wanted to see get made, and this was right after they had released Fast and the Furious, and he had helped with that and had helped in getting Fast and the Furious made. Since then, Fast and the Furious has been one of their most successful cabinets. So that's going to obviously make him want to come back around and do more business with Arcade1up. And if they're going to give him his pick and say, hey, let's do what you want to do, he's going to want to do Smash Robotron 2084. Now, he doesn't own the licenses to those games. We have other companies that are involved as well that are going to want their cut. But Eugene can help make those things happen. He can help make all this come into play and actually put the pieces in place for this to actually happen. So I think that is the one cabinet we are going to see at CES. Of all the speculation I'm going to do tonight, the Smash TV Robotron 2084 is probably the most likely of all of them. And can't say for fact, that this is going to happen. But, I mean, we're very close. Papa Brad's Live, he's a new member as well. So we've got Papa Brad's Gaming and we've got Papa Brad Live. That's another channel of his that he does other content on as well. So go check that out. He is also a new member with that channel as well. So thank you so much, Papa Brad, for the support and the new channel membership. Goofy Foot saying you're late, Papa. And also it looks like Papa Brad Live, he just gifted 5 memberships. So I really appreciate you being as nice as you can be right now and offering and giving out 5 memberships. It looks like Soul Red gave one, Kevlar's FPV Adventures, Atran Fanatic, Tim One, and JR all got memberships. So awesome of you, Papa Brad. I really appreciate the support. But let's get into what CES was last year. Let's start there. So this was a short I had made around this time last year. Well, actually, it was the first week of January. And this was what they had released. It was an announcement of the new deluxe style cabinets, which was going to be the Pac-Man, the Miss Pac-Man, which we never saw, the Class of 81, the MK2 deluxe, and then the Infinity Game Board. So we had a total of 4 arcade cabinets, a Wheel of Fortune Casino-cade, and a Infinity Game Board. So we had a total of, what was that? 4 cabinets, a Casino-cade, and a Infinity Game Board. The Miss Pac-Man never happened. We never ended up getting that cabinet. And will we ever get that cabinet? Who knows? Maybe they've pulled that and they may never go back to that. Who knows? I don't know. I know there was a lot of interest in Miss Pac-Man, but it did kind of seem odd for me and many others out there that they were going to be doing a Miss Pac-Man at the same exact time that they were going to be doing a Class of 81, because the Class of 81 was so similar, and they've already had problems with releasing too many similar products at one time, and that end up hurting both of them, kind of like with the Killer Instinct and the Killer Instinct Pro. Are they going to want to do the Miss Pac-Man and the Class of 81 at the same time? Well, they decided last minute not to do it. So that was what we got, were those. We also had this short. This was like our first look at their hotel room. And we saw the Infinity Game Board. They didn't have the Miss Pac-Man there, but they did have the Class of 81. And they did have the Pac-Man. So we'll see what happens this year. But, it could be the same thing. Again, just another hotel room. They throw a few new cabinets in there and just do what they did last year. And at least that gets the buzz going, people talking about it. It also allows these retailers to actually go to the hotel room, see what they have, get in some questions and kind of get the ball rolling on 2024 and getting these products in the store in 2024. So let's look at what possibly could come next year. And our roadmap, kind of our place to start here, and I keep getting this image up here in the upper left of a games list for AVP, so I keep deleting those. But this is the list. So this is our kind of our roadmap. Now, when this released in, I think it was September, like right before we had left for Cleveland is when this got released. So this very well could have changed. We talked about this last week with Mike B, that, none of these could happen. Arcade1up could make the decision that they don't want to do any of them. But then we'd also discuss that likely quite a few on this list are too far along for that to happen, meaning they've gotten too far in their progress or where they are at in the progress of making these cabinets where it's too late to pull it. The development costs were too high. The buy-in from other people like Eugene Jarvis, others out there, was already made and they've already gotten that buy-in, and it's too hard or too difficult to backtrack at that point. Even if they're in financial trouble, like we had learned with their, vulture capitalist that they had owed, that even with that going on, that they still weren't going to be able to just pull cabinets that they had been working on for a year longer and already developed and, paid a lot of money in that development. So there are some on this list that are like that they would probably like to pull and not make this year or next year, but they're going to end up having to make them because they have no choice. And there's a couple of those cabinets in there. And that's going to be the Smash TV Robotron cabinet. And I want to start with that one. So this is the one that's very far along. There really just is no way that they cannot do this cabinet now. There's just too much, buy-in from Eugene Jarvis. There's too much development costs that have already been paid to get this game ported over to their hardware, to develop and make the mold for this cabinet. It's going to have a unique shape and mold to it. It's going to have unique controls with the twin stick shooter, something they've never done before. And then also the licensing costs. These games have very high licensing costs. So all that's been worked out, and there's just not really the ability for them at this point, even if they wanted to not make this, they just don't have the ability to do that. So this is one of those cabinets, I think, where we all know it's coming. We all know it's happening. And what's good for Arcade1up is they may not be in the business right now of making new cabinets. They really probably shouldn't be investing a lot of money into new cabinets. They should be really rehashing and redoing cabinets that they've already done because of their financial troubles. But this is one of those cabinets that they're going to have to get out. And it's really good for us, though. And it's good for Arcade1up. And the reason I say it's good for Arcade1up is there was a poll. There was a poll that was sent out via an email, promotional email. And this was kind of led by Travis. And it was asking Arcade1up customers, what cabinet would you most like to see Arcade1up do next year? If they were to do a new cabinet, which one would you like to see them do? And the Robotron 2084 Smash TV was at the top of the list. That was the most votes were for that cabinet. And that's surprising because it's a fill-in-the-blank form. It wasn't like you had a choice. People were actually able to put in whatever they wanted. So it was very surprising to see Robotron and Smash TV so high. I think Robotron 2084 was number one. So they've got all the marketing data they need. They have everything they need to make a good, knowledgeable business decision to make this cabinet. And financially, they might not be ready or in a good spot to make it, but they know it's high reward. And that's part of their motto for next year is low development cost, low risk, high reward. So this had a high development cost, but it is very low risk, and it is a very high reward cabinet. So it does meet 2 of the 3. And this is one that I think we can pretty much for sure bet 100% this is going to happen here in just a few weeks. We're going to get, a sizzle reel video, and we're going to see this thing in a hotel room or on the floor of CES here in a few weeks. And from what I've been told is, and I've got this pretty much down now, is it's one mold. So it's going to be one, like if this, for instance, we're looking at this just for an example. This isn't the actual cabinet. This is just an example. Let's say this was it. It would be one mold. So it'd be the same cabinet design for both Robotron 2084 and Smash TV, but they would both have their own unique artwork. So Smash would have its artwork like this picture. Robotron would have its artwork just like you would see on a Robotron cabinet. But it would have 4 joysticks on both. So you could play 2-player on Total Carnage. You could play 2-player on Smash TV. But I think this is the one, that everyone's spoken in the, their voices have been heard. And this is the one that everyone wants to see get made. And this has been a long time coming. This has been a long process. They don't bring us new cabinets all the time like they used to. So this was a very well thought out release. And I don't think this one's going to go wrong. Darren saying, I haven't been with the company since May of 2022, but my thought is you'll only see a handful of brand new titles in 2024 unless they adopt crowdsourcing. So yeah, and Darren's right on that. There is only going to be a few cabinets that are new. And the ones I'm going to give you today, 2 of them are new and one's a rehash or a re-release. Paul's wanting new titles. He just wants to see new titles. I think a lot of people just want to see something new. Just bring us something new. It doesn't have to be perfect. Jason saying, since Class of 81 came out in March, and a couple of months ago, they released the black, pink Miss Pac-Man. I think they'll do a Miss Pac-Man XL, blue, pink for Costco. Logical progression for Costco. And that brings up a good point. We had that black Miss Pac-Man Deluxe. But did that black Miss Pac-Man Deluxe, did that ever release? I don't even know if that cabinet ever ended up getting released. Let's take a look at that real quick and see, because I'm curious on this black Miss Pac-Man. So here's the Arcade1up website. And just want to go to Shop All Arcades. And then I want to find this black Miss Pac-Man Deluxe. There's the black Miss Pac-Man with the riser. But there was supposed to be a black Miss Pac-Man Deluxe that was supposed to release. They even advertised it very heavily. And maybe it's under the coming soon? No. Yeah, I don't know if that black Miss Pac-Man Deluxe, Jason, still exists. Or if it was kind of like the Miss Pac-Man where they heavily promoted it. They said they were going to make it. And then it just, oh, there it is, guys. There it is. Okay, $549. Okay, that's why I think it never released. It's only at Shop Hippo. So it's an exclusive to Shop Hippo. Never really made its way into stores. So yeah, they released it, but they had released it on such a limited basis with Shop Hippo. It just never really gained any traction. So we'll see what happens with that one. I just think they need to, do like a true Miss Pac-Man. I think there was a lot of interest in that blue, Miss Pac-Man. And Mike is saying maybe Arcade1up should try something different this year, skip CES, and unveil everything new for 2024 at AVN, maybe spark a buzz with different markets since kids aren't into arcades at all. And that's a good idea there. Paul is saying Biggie D's Arcade. I wasn't saying it was me that wants new. I was talking about the Reddit survey. Okay, so there is that Reddit survey going out right now talking about, what we want to see. And I believe the new titles are what everyone, based on that poll, want to see first. Jason, if they were tight with Konami, TMNT Deluxe would have been out for the summer movie. Yeah, if they could have gotten it out right around the time the TMNT movie by Seth Rogen came out, that would have been huge. They could have really lined that up and made that work, and benefited greatly from that. And that's something they're going to do with my next pick. So you guys obviously saw it in the thumbnail, the Aliens versus Predator. And we got this leak just a few months ago out of Australia. And that was a leak that was made. Big Reese made it. And he ended up taking that video down. And I think when he took that video down, that was kind of our confirmation. This was a real leak. This was so close to being made in such a reality that they had asked him, can you take that video down? You're really going to hurt our relationship with Capcom. You're really going to hurt our relationship with who owns Alien versus Predator now, Disney, which owns Fox. So there's a lot of people in play and a lot of people involved in the making of this cabinet, and having that leak out there probably hurt them quite a bit. And it probably hurt not just the chances of this being made, but their relationship with these business partners. So these two, Robotron 2084, Smash TV, that cabinet, Aliens versus Predator, these two are the ones that I see as not just the most likely, but pretty much 100% we're going to see these as brand new releases at CES here in just a few weeks. So we'll get like a promotional video just like this, and it'll show Smash TV Robotron. It'll show Aliens versus Predator. Now, what's going to be number 3? What's the third cabinet that I think they're going to release? Because they're not going to just release 2. Hopefully they give us 3 new releases, kind of like we saw in that room last year. We had the Class of 81, the Casino-Cade, Pac-Man. Hopefully we've got them lined up. We've got the Smash TV. We've got the AVP. And then we've got one more cabinet to the right of that one in that room. What's that one going to be? What's that third cabinet going to be? So this is my guess. And I've said this on previous live streams before. And if you guys watch every week, you probably already know what that's going to be. But that's going to be the Star Wars XL. So we had the original Star Wars cabinet, which was one of their most successful releases. It was so successful that they couldn't even wait until the deluxe line to remake it and to rehash it. They ended up doing it again with the riser again. That's how popular it was. It got made twice with a riser. So this is like their baby. This is their number one, their bread and butter cabinet right here. And we know that there's going to be an emphasis on XL next year. And there's no better cabinet, I don't think, to start with for an XL than Star Wars. Now, the XL for the S&K Big Red, we've heard a lot of speculation out there from like PD7. That cabinet is just not happening. It is not happening. That is all bogus, not real. Off-Road XL, definitely not happening. We've talked about that for months. Definitely not going to happen. Street Fighter XL. A Street Fighter XL is very likely. Almost as likely as a Star Wars. I'm only going with the Star Wars because there's been a longer period of time since the last Star Wars, where we just had the Street Fighter HS5 Deluxe. I'm thinking that if we do get a Street Fighter XL, it'll probably be a little bit farther after the HS5 Deluxe release. So Star Wars XL is the one. Now the Cowabunga collection, I thought that would be an excellent XL as well. So there's a lot of good choices for your next XL. Even ones that are on this list, MVC2 XL, definitely that's a good choice as well. Basically, you could remake any of the cabinets that we don't already have an XL in, and they would work. People will buy them. People will be happy with them. Now, for me, I'm in an apartment. Many others out there in an apartment. A lot of people that watch me are in smaller places. We don't have huge houses with, multiple rooms. A lot of you guys do in the audience, but a lot of us don't also. And the smaller form factor is good for us. It's, you know, the deluxe or the peasant classic versions work really well for us. But there are a lot, probably more, that have bigger homes or big game rooms, and they want XLs. They got an enormous amount of space. They got plenty of room. It's not a problem. Bigger is better. And even for some of us that have, you know, apartments or smaller homes, we could probably still fit, you know, one XL or maybe two XLs if it's like our one cabinet that we just have to have. You know, if I'm a huge Star Wars fan and I just have to have every Star Wars that's made, even if I have a small place, I'll probably still go out and get the Star Wars XL because I'm that big of a fan of that game and of that license. So I don't think they can go wrong with this choice for their first XL of 2024. So for me, Robotron Smash, AVP, Star Wars XL. That's going to kind of round out my predictions for CES 2024, and we'll see what happens. It would be nice to be 3 out of 3 on these. I don't know if that's going to happen. May only be 2 out of 3, maybe only be 1 out of 3, or maybe I'm a 0, a big fat 0, and none of these get made. And maybe they're not at CES at all. So I just kind of want to throw that out there, that none of this is set in stone. Even the fact that they are going to CES is not a 100% for sure going to happen. Paul's saying, well, that sucks. They should have done an SNK. Big loss there. Definitely agree with you. They should do an SNK. Absolutely. The problem is going to be the license. Also, you know, should they be doing an SNK right now after Unicode just did their MVSX? A lot of people still have their MVSX. You know, are they going to upgrade? Are they going to sell theirs to get the Arcade1up version? Is Arcade1up even in a position right now to make a good quality Big Red SNK cabinet? I don't think they are. I don't think the way their motto is set for next year, that they're in a good position to make an SNK cabinet right now and to do it justice and to do it right. Atrian Fanatic saying track and field will not happen. That's another one. Yeah, and these, you know, are my predictions. These are based on my own logic and my own reasoning. But anyone's right. No one's wrong. You know, anything could be made. No one knows for sure. Mike Hawkhurt says, I really think if Arcade1up is losing all these licenses due to financial issues, a new company is going to step in before too long. And that's a good point. And that's a great time and opportunity to transition into what I wanted to talk about next. And that is, one, what cabinets on this list of cabinets we see here on their website could become XLs other than the Star Wars XL. And also, I want to point something else out to you guys as well. Something that kind of worries me. You know, around the holiday season, we see really good deals, right? We see Black Friday deals. We see Cyber Monday deals. And normally after Cyber Monday, the prices will go for a good company that is in a good position, that is financially secure, that is heading in the right direction, will then raise their prices back up a little bit or some or all the way to their MSRP until the end of the year. You'll see that. Go look. Most of those big savings we saw on some really big products this Black Friday are back up to full retail now. What we're not seeing through Arcade1up is that we're seeing something totally different. We saw them give us pretty low pricing on Black Friday. Then we saw them giving us even lower pricing on Cyber Monday. And then we saw them drop the prices even more after that. So that's very unusual and very strange. And it brings and begs the question, is the company in a good financial position? Are they kind of in this position right now where they're just trying to keep their head above water, and the only way that they can do that is to just clear out their inventory and to kind of get inventory out and to get money in? Even though the profit margin isn't very high, they're at least moving units, and they're getting their products into homes for potentially more buys in the future. So there's a lot of things going on here behind the scenes that I don't think we know about. And I think a lot of this spells trouble for Arcade1up. That's just my personal opinion. Because if you look at all their cabinets, it's like their entire line of cabinets right now has a discount. And that is not a good sign. So we saw today, so we've got the class of 81, all the deluxes that were $399 are $424.99. So very strange. Okay, guys, very strange. That they are just doing that $25 too. That's weird to me. And then we got the $399 on Galaga Deluxe. We've got their brand new Atari 50th down to $449. We've been seeing the Pac-Man XL going for very low prices at Costco. We've seen down to $600 on Time Crisis. We've seen $299 on this classic Big Buck, $399. Now, there's a couple that are still full MSRP. The Big Buck Pro Deluxe. But even Wheel of Fortune's down to $499. Everything is on sale. Their Pro is not. But majority of everything is. So that concerns me for them moving forward in the future. Are they really just in a really bad position? They're just trying to get rid of inventory, clear it out so they can just get some money in the door. Because if they were in a good position right now and they were heading in the right direction, I don't think we would be seeing this type of pricing after Cyber Monday. It's almost like a panic mode for Arcade1up right now. That's the sense that I get. But let's kind of look in the right direction, and let's look at, because what's going to get Arcade1up in the right direction and get them heading the right place, is going to be getting XLs out, because that's something that they can do that is low development cost, that is a high reward, and low risk. So XLs are something they can do realistically with anything that they have. So I kind of want to ask you guys out there, what would you like to see in an XL? You know, I had said Star Wars XL is probably going to be the one we see. You know, a Street Fighter XL in this Dynamo design would be an excellent choice. I think those two there, you can't go wrong. MVC2 XL, I think is definitely the right way to go as well, because so many customers were done wrong with the MVC2 the first time. That you could really make it up to the true fans and the enthusiast by making an MVC2 XL and doing it right. So what other ones, though, on this list of cabinets could you see in an XL next year? There was one that I thought would be a good one as well that wouldn't fit the XL, but I think is very likely to happen, may even happen in January at CES, is going to be the Golden Tee Deluxe. We haven't seen a Golden Tee Deluxe yet. We also, this one had such a poorly lit screen that, again, they need to do the customers right. They need to do the enthusiasts right and give us a Golden Tee Deluxe or another Golden Tee XL with the right screen. So that would be a good one as well. But any of these could be. And we've heard a lot of people say 2024 is the year of XL. You know, what do you guys think? What XLs would you like to see? Paul is saying MK, Street Fighter 2, Star Wars, start there with the XLs and then do a Smash XL. So yeah, Mortal Kombat, definitely. We got the Mortal Kombat spectate mode, lobbies, the new overhaul to its online platform starting early next year. So that would be a great choice. You know, release it, Mortal Kombat XL, time it around the time that you're releasing that update, and that'll really help. And it'll also it'll create that excitement behind the Mortal Kombat brand and Arcade1up's partnership with Mortal Kombat. Hopefully get that online fighting competitions that Moat is running, get those going even more. Mike Cockert says, this time last year, Big Lots, owned by Walmart, was clearing out cabs at $149 that Walmart needed to unload. Keep an eye on stores like that in early 2024. And it is interesting to hear that Big Lots was doing that. My local Walmart must have been doing that because I went about a month and a half ago and they had about 10 units in stock. And then I went a couple of weeks ago and they were all sold. So they must have clearanced those out and I just totally missed that. And it just happened, you know, probably within a short time frame, like a couple of days. And you just had to be there to get the deal. They don't advertise them online. Papa Brad's Gaming or Papa Brad Live would like to see Gorf XL or a Cubert XL. So if you guys know Papa Brad's Gaming, Papa Brad's Live is the same person. He's just got 2 channels, and the live channel is used to be his old iArcadians channel. He's changed it to Papa Brad's Live, and he's got a lot of really good content on there. So go check it out. Carl O says the New York investors want their money. Their mistresses need their fur coats. That's funny, Carl. Steps Gaming says they marked these up too high to start, so they can do this. So yeah, you're right. Their prices, their MSRPs, especially on their newest cabinet steps, like the Time Crisis was the worst, where they put an MSRP of $750. So then they go down to $600 and you think you're getting a deal when actually $600 is what it should have been from the beginning. You know, it's the same thing as the Big Buck Hunter Deluxe. All right, guys. So I kind of want to get into something different. I just want to bring up a couple more XL comments here before we move on, because I know this is a subject everyone's really interested in, is seeing XLs and what could happen with that. Jason's saying MK, Street Fighter, Defender, Miss Blue, Pac-Man, or Pink, Tempest, or Centipede. Or blue and pink is what he meant, not blue or pink, because it's got blue and pink on it. Gauntlet XL, Tony C, you're on it. Gauntlet would be a really good one to see. That's a good suggestion. JJ says, hey, Biggie D, how about them Cowboys? The new kicker just set an NFL record, 2 field goals of 59 yards in the same game. Star Wars XL. Yeah, JJ, I think this is going to be the one, the first XL we see here in just a few weeks is going to be the Star Wars. It also fits our roadmap, our list as well. It was listed there. So I think that's going to be it. Bozo Calvin Jr. says, I was so shocked my Ollie store had the NFL Blitz still at $2.99. Yeah, so $2.99 NFL Blitz may not sell. They may need to get those down to $1.99. May need to get them down to $1.50. There were a lot of blitzes out there. You know, they made like 20,000 NFL Blitz cabinets. So there's just not enough demand for that many that they made. So you could, you know, and here's the thing. I'm about to get into Fast and Furious. I just purchased it. I'm really limited on room now. You know, I'm so far out of the market on an NFL Blitz now. Even if it was $150, I may not even buy it because I don't have the room for it. So I want to get in next, guys, to Fast and the Furious. So we had a really big deal on Fast and the Furious this week. This was unexpected too, because we saw Fast and the Furious for, what was it? It was $525 at Amazon during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. And I know a lot of people out there pulled the trigger on it at $525. Thought they were getting a pretty good deal. And that's why I always say my sweet spot is at $299. And then I may go up to $399. But I never go higher than that. Like I've never once spent more than, say, like $400 on anything, or, you know, home arcade related, Arcade1up especially, because I know how their pricing structure is, and like Steps just said, their MSRP is really high. So you have to factor that into everything, and you have to really just kind of wait, sit, and you know, it'll happen 6 months later. 3 months later, we've seen it on, you know, brand new cabinets. 3 months later, they'll go on a huge discount. They'll run a huge sale on it. And I knew that was going to happen on Fast and the Furious. Now, Fast and the Furious was probably their best cabinet they did of all of 2023. And I'm probably going to do a best of video here at the end of this year. And I already know what my pick is for number one. It was Fast and the Furious. It had a very rough start. We talked about this with Mike B last week. Very rough start for Fast and the Furious. Very surprising that it actually did well based on all that bad publicity it got, all that negative criticism we heard about initially. But it withstood all that. It withstood the test of time, and it drove through the rest of the year with a very solid year. One of their best-selling cabinets. Not only did they do the first run of them, they've gone back and done a second run of them. And now it's not even an exclusive to Best Buy. Walmart's gotten in on the action. Amazon's gotten in on the action. This was a success. This was a huge success for them. So there wasn't a cabinet out there that I could think of this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, time of year that Arcade1up, I couldn't think of one cabinet I wouldn't want more than Fast and the Furious. Especially for me, I don't own a driving cabinet. I've been wanting a driving cabinet for a very long time. I did a live stream about 14, 15 months ago. One of my very first live streams I ever did. It might have, in fact, been my very first live stream. And on my thumbnail, I had put on there my plan for... Actually, let's just bring it up. I have the web browser here. Let's just bring it up, because I want you guys to have something visual to look at, kind of tell you guys about this. View my channel. Let's go to videos, and it's one of my, it was either a video or a live stream. About a year, when I first started. It may have been my very first live stream, guys. So let's go there. And yep, there it is. My very first live stream right here. No, second. So my very first live stream was 11 months ago. It was when I gave away the Pinball Hall of Fame t-shirt, if you guys remember that. And then a month later, so 10 months ago, it was Chill and Chat number 13. And if you guys look at this thumbnail, you're going to see on the left-hand side of the thumbnail, springtime game plan. So this was around February or so, getting ready for spring and the warm weather and getting my game room in order for... make sure I have everything that I want, and kind of planning all that out. And in that thumbnail, I had a trackball, I had a steering wheel, I had a light gun, and I had a spinner. And I had told myself, and I had told my audience that, when I was planning out my game room, that I had wanted to have spinners, trackballs, light guns, and steering wheels. So that was almost a year ago. And I've gotten my trackball and my spinners on my AtGames Legends Ultimate since then. I've also got my trackball and my spinner on my iArcade. And I've got my light gun. I purchased a Sinden light gun from Sinden. That is still, the order has been placed, but it has not been shipped yet. I emailed Sinden. They said it's 2 to 3 week wait time right now before they ship. I'm at about almost 2 weeks. So my Sinden should ship any day now. And then I was left with, what am I missing? What left do I not have that I want to get? And it says here, I'll be moving in 6 weeks, going to share my springtime game plan on how I want to move Arcade1ups. I'm going to be in a larger space. And that was my plan. That was my plan, was to get light gun games, driving games, spinner games, trackball games. So I had completed everything except for the driving game. I had not gotten that yet. So I knew if I was going to spend $400 or $500 this holiday season on a home arcade product, I knew I wanted it to be a driving game, because that was going to complete my game room. It was going to give me the entire arcade experience. When you walk into an arcade, you have driving games, you have shooting games, you have fighting games, you've got beat 'em up games. I had everything. I had everything but the driving game. So I completed that this weekend. I purchased the Fast and the Furious. It was $399 this weekend, guys. Incredible deal. And I'll kind of give you guys my experience and what happened during my shopping of this. So if you guys know me, I'm very reluctant. I'm always waiting to the very last second to buy anything. I never want to rush into a purchase or feel like I've rushed into a purchase. So when I initially had saw this $399 price, it still wasn't enough to push me over the edge to make me purchase this cabinet. I kind of wanted to wait out and see, what's going to happen. Is the buzz going to be good behind this? Are other people going to be wanting to get this? Is there anything new that could come out of this? And then over the day, because this released early in the morning, I had a text message from the Cornercade the morning of the $399 price. He's like, you got to get it, because I had already committed to this. I had given you guys, and that's another point I want to bring up too, guys, is I had given you guys a heads up on this. I had watched the Cornercade stream the night prior, and I had listened and tuned into that entire live stream, and Travis MCP came into the live stream and told us that Fast and the Furious was going to have a really big deal next week. And if you guys know me, I'm all about the deals. So I took note of that instantly as soon as I heard it. And I went out and made a post that following morning on my, went out on a limb that following morning and told everyone that this is happening, that this is coming. You better get ready for this deal. Travis MCP popped into the Cornercade's live stream last night and said that the Arcade1up, the Fast and the Furious arcade driving cabinet, will be on sale next week, and it could drop to $399. I'd be interested at that price. I need a racer in my game room. So whenever I did that, I had committed myself that if it goes down to $399, I'm going to get it. And, I publicly committed to it. And so when the price dropped to $399, like we knew it was going to, Cornercade texted me that morning. He's like, you got to get it. You got to buy it now because it's $399. So I went to work. I kind of ignored it throughout the day at work. And then I started watching, I think it was Super Game Room Dudes, and on Friday night. And I started seeing everyone in the chat talking about how it was selling out at Best Buy. And I was like, oh no. So I got home and I went to Best Buy and I went to go place the order at Best Buy. And I had gotten all the way to the cart and I was paying for it. And I had actually paid for it, put in my credit card information and everything, which I do through PayPal. So PayPal kind of authorizes your card ahead of time before you complete the order on Best Buy. So it went ahead and charged my card. Well, then when I went to go finalize the that $399 price and pay for it and finish the order, it said it was sold out. So I went and checked my bank statement and it showed that it already charged me, and I was really upset about it. I was like kind of throwing my hands up like, screw it. I'm not going to get this thing now. But then I had noticed Amazon had it for $399. And then shortly after that, maybe a minute or two after that, I had refreshed it. And then Amazon went back up to $5.99. So Amazon was technically, they were only matching the price of Best Buy for the time that Best Buy had it in stock. So as soon as Best Buy sold out, Amazon raised their price back up to $5.99. So I was like, all right, well, that's it. That's done. I'm not getting it. There's no way I can get it now. But then Walmart, all of a sudden, I was Googling Fast and the Furious Arcade1up. And, you know, when you Google Arcade1up, you know, that the newest Arcade1ups will come up towards the top. So they always come up, like your best deals will come up towards the top. Well, Fast and the Furious started coming up towards the top with Walmart at $4.25. So I was like, all right, well, it's only $25 more. I've only missed out, or almost completely missed out on Fast and the Furious getting a deal on it. So I better pull the trigger. Also, I'd noticed something else about Walmart that I'd really liked is they have a 90-day return policy with their cabinets. So right here, free 90-day returns. So it means it's returnable to the store. I can go to my local Walmart just a couple miles up the road and return it there if needed. And I have 90 days to do it. Now, something, if you guys follow me and watch this channel every week, you guys are knowing already that I'm transferring to a new apartment in February. On February the 15th, I'm transferring. And so this Fast and the Furious is going to remain in the box until I move. So I thought this was really a good deal for me because 90 days from now is like March, like first week of March. So it'll give me time to move, unbox it, make sure everything works, play it, you know, all that. And then if I need to return it, I could still return it in March. So that's amazing. I've got plenty of time to figure all that out if I want to keep it or not. I think I am going to keep it though. And the reason I say that I'm going to want to keep it is for a few reasons. Number one, I don't have a racing cabinet, so it's going to offer me something completely different. Number two, I really like the look of this cabinet. I think this is one of the best artworks that they've had on any of theirs. Also, the controls, you know, we've got the four-way, what we call that? It's not a joystick, it's a shifter, four-way shifter. So this offers something new for a driving cabinet as well. But then even more, something I'm even more excited about than that is going to be something else I'd posted on my channel. And that's going to be this Buy Stuff mod. So they had just announced this, and they had planned this out to, I guess, announce this Fast and the Furious mod kit around the time of this promotion by Arcade1up to sell it at $3.99. And I think that's awesome. That's like the perfect opportunity and timing for Buy Stuff Store to offer their new gaming box, which is their mod for the Fast and the Furious. Perfect timing. So they had just announced this yesterday. And what this is, if you guys don't already know, it's a mod which basically lets you put in, like, it's their own board. And it's got their games already installed on it. Very simple. You just plug it all in, use the stock speakers. But what's really great about this mod is it utilizes the four-way shifter so on these racing games. So Buy Stuff has made it really easy to have an amazing racing arcade cabinet with just a simple mod that they've created for this. So that's one option that I'm really looking forward to, is upgrading it with this mod kit, playing, you know, Daytona and all these other racing games on it. But then there's another option as well. So if I don't want to spend the money on the mod kit, and I don't want to, what we would, I guess, call a hard mod, there is the option to do what's called a soft mod. So the soft mod, basically what you're doing with that is you're utilizing the original PCB on this cabinet, and you're just side loading games onto the original PCB. And that would be, you know, no cost. You wouldn't have to buy any hardware at all. You could simply just side load the games on the existing hardware that was already on this cabinet to begin with. So I've got a decision to make. I definitely want to mod it. Now, when do I want to mod it? Probably not immediately. you know, I want to definitely play this Fast and the Furious game. You know, I definitely want to play this, get some experience in on the game, do a review on this game itself. It is a very slimmed down version of the original Fast and the Furious game. They advertise it as 2 games. They advertise it as Fast and the Furious and Fast and the Furious Drift. But in reality, it's just 1 game broken into 2. And then it's a lot like, I was watching She Lion stream last night. She's like expert level on Fast and the Furious. And she was saying that essentially this game that Raw Thrills created for Arcade1up to put on this cabinet is essentially Fast and the Furious supercars. So if you like the supercars Fast and the Furious game, this is a lot like it. So I will be playing this game for a period of time before I actually doing modding on it. But supposedly in January next month, Mystery Encoder, if you guys know who Mystery Encoder is, he's going to be releasing a soft mod for the Fast and the Furious cabinet. So I'll either be doing that or I'll be doing this buy stuff mod, which I have not yet decided which one I would yet want to do. Now, we have also discussed, Carlo had brought this up, a booster for this cabinet. Now, I've purchased the Buy Stuff Arcades booster for my AtGames Legends Ultimate. Works really good, looks good, matches the cabinet. But something I was hoping on and wanting them to make was a Fast and the Furious booster or a riser. Now, what's tough about the Fast and the Furious cabinet is the bottom of the cabinet. They did something very unique with this one where it has these like little fins that stick out here. You guys can see it really good in this short. So how are they going to even make a booster or a riser for this? I'm not quite sure how that's going to look or how they are going to end up, you know, what the final product would be and how it would work. But I'm hoping that they're working on that and we will see something in the future because I'm pretty tall. I'm 6'4", and it's definitely going to be uncomfortable for me standing at this playing without some type of riser or booster. So that's definitely something else. Buy Stuff Store, I'm going to be definitely paying attention to you guys coming up because I want to see you guys make one. And Carlos says $3.99 turns into $1K. Plus, you got to get all the buy stuff. That's when you look at a sit-down real cabinet. So yeah, I mean, you're $3.99. I paid $4.25 for the cabinet, and then you've got the mod. I'm not sure yet what the price is going to be on the buy stuff mod. I'm not sure if we have a price on that yet. Now the soft mod would be free. The boosters aren't too expensive. You know, the boosters could be, you know, $50, $60. I think I paid like $70 or $80 for my AtGames Legends Ultimate booster, so they're not expensive. Mike Hawkert says, I suspect lots of crazy deals on the Casino-cades in early 24 at Best Buy. Some stores are not moving them at all. Yeah, we haven't seen a really great deal on the Casino-cade. And we'll definitely be getting those, I think, next year. And that's like one of those kind of crazy, weird cabinets that I may get just to give me something different. If a Casino-cade was $199 or $250, I would have to strongly consider it. Not because I'm a huge Wheel of Fortune fan or I just have to have a Casino-cade. It's just that it would offer me something different in my game room. And that's what I want. I want options. I want variety. And that's what the Casino-cade offered. That's what the Fast and the Furious is getting me right now, is a driving cabinet, something different. Stupid Fat Hobbit, he says the amount of resources and money 1UP spent on baby-cades, Casino-cades, couch-cades, counter-cades, etc., they should just stick to their bread and butter and do the 3/4 scale, the deluxe, and XL only. And I agree with you, Stupid Fat Hobbit. You know, they've got all these crazy, weird products like you just mentioned. Baby-cades were not a success. Casino-cades, you could questionable if that was a success. Really, I don't think we have the full, picture yet on that. for the Casino-cade. Couchcade definitely was a failure. Countercades, some are successes, some are not. But you know, you do just stick to the bread and butter, like you say, 3/4, Deluxe, XL. You can't go wrong. Make all these other things that you're making Arcade1up, babycades, countercades, all that secondary. Paul is saying, I had the buy stuff mod for Ridge Racer, sold it. The Fast and the Furious actually more fun. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get Ridge Racer last year, because this Fast and the Furious, I mean, Ridge Racer was an excellent cabinet. Very good cabinet. Had a lot of good things about it. But this, I just like the look of this one better. Also, this is going to be my first deluxe, my first riserless cabinet. So that's kind of exciting. Mike Hawkhurt says there are so many hit and miss products in this space. Arcade1up has swung and missed on some cases and hit home runs on others. And that's where they need to fine tune and figure it out, is those home runs. How can they hit home runs? Not every time, but more often, or majority of the time, you know, rather than whiffing, you know, majority of the time like they have been. Jason saying, why can't he see them? You get banned again, the Cornercade. So Cornercade has something going on with his account, guys. Cornercade is a friend of the channel. I'm a big supporter of him. We are, you know, not just friends on YouTube, but friends off of YouTube. But we had gotten into a little bit of a disagreement. Sometimes the content creators can kind of butt heads on certain things, especially if you're covering the same exact stuff. And there was that period of time. And I had put Cornercade in kind of like a timeout because he was commenting a lot on some of my posts. And shouldn't have done that looking back on it. Because what happened is when I tried to undo that, now it's like permanent. And I can't get it to undo. So now it's like I can't see his comments in the live stream. I can't like his comments. I can't pin his comments. So I emailed YouTube last week, and it's like they can't do anything to help me. And they want me to go above and beyond to provide them all this stuff. And they still can't tell me for sure that's going to fix it. So I'm still working with them right now to try to get this fixed. But it sucks because I want to be able to bring Cornercade's messages up, and I can't. So guys, if you ever, someone makes you upset, use like a timeout or a ban or anything like that as a last resort, because sometimes you can't even bring it back. Cyan Spirit says, I think all these cells indicate that they're not selling cabs like they need to. And let's see here. Bozo Calvin had a pretty good comment here. He says, and he's an owner of Fast and the Furious, he says that game is very addicting, LOL. And Paul says, YouTube sucks. They make it hard for everybody. Yeah, there's really good things about YouTube, but there are other things too that like they've kind of neglected, like support for little issues like this. Like I can't get Cornercade's messages to show up, and it's like there's no solution for it. I just don't understand how that's possible with a, you know, billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company like Google. But it's funny to see that kind of stuff. So let's we've talked a lot about Fast and the Furious, but what I want to do is I kind of want to show you guys where this cabinet started. You guys remember it started on 420. If you guys remember, Blaze It Up, 420, new product release. They had teased all these cabinets. There were multiple cabinets that they were teasing, and everyone was speculating on what all these could be. And it ended up just being Fast and the Furious, like we knew it was going to be, like we knew well ahead of time it was going to be. And then this was their promo video, which I think was probably, looking back on it last year, probably one of their most well-made, best promo videos they did. And especially looking at their sales videos that they're doing for the Christmas season, those are so poorly made. They actually did a pretty decent job on this than that. Now the pedals are definitely something that I want to upgrade. So it's got the plastic pedals, and that is something that I definitely want to upgrade. There's some metal ones that you can buy out there that you can simply just snap them on, and it makes those pedals a little more durable. It makes them feel a little better quality than those cheap plastic ones. So that'll probably be the very first upgrade I do. But good job on that. So they had done that 420 Blaze It Up. That was kind of questionable on how they promoted that, but they did a pretty good promo video for it. And then this is what we got. So we had the Ridge Racer, which Paul had talked about how he loved his Ridge Racer. It was very similar to that one in a lot of ways. If you guys remember the original leak for Fast and the Furious, it actually was a riser design. We had thought it was going to be a riser. Ended up not being one. And that was, I guess, the big innovation with this was they had gone with the riserless design. But also we had the 4-way shifter. That was an upgrade innovation that they had made. And then also instead of having the marquee just kind of sit on top, it's now flush with the side panels, part of like a full cabinet now. So I think they did a really good job. They did enough to make this one different and better for people to want to upgrade, or for people to be interested in, maybe if they already owned Ridge Racer, getting another racing cabinet. Also, something that they had done with this one too, which was an innovation, was the ability to link the cabinets. You know, now we can link them. Didn't have online play, but if you wanted a multiplayer experience, you could buy 2, 3, 4 of these, link them all together, and play them locally multiplayer. So that was pretty cool. Also, the coin door. Don't want to leave out that we are now getting the coin door. Now, for me, I'm a taller person. I'm 6'4", so it had a taller screen height, which was a really plus for me. Big plus. Also, a taller steering wheel height, which was a huge plus for me. And I'm still, even with the taller screen and the taller steering wheel, I'm still going to be looking at that booster or that riser to come out hopefully next year. Mike Hawkert says, maybe the corner cage should join the stream in a muted window and get unmuted whenever he raises his hands. Yeah, see, if he was in the chat, maybe I would have some type of option in there, but I don't even see him in the live chat. Goofy Foot saying Ritual Dello. Gregory is saying KFB is a loser, and I don't want to be mean to KFB. I'm never mean to anyone. So I don't want to, be mean, but, I'm definitely not a fan of his, and he has definitely treated me pretty badly in the past. So that's all I'll say about him. Atrium Fanatic, I'm telling you, Fast and the Furious is just a tweaked Wii cruising ROM. LOL. And I thought that too as well. But I was watching Sheila stream last night. She is very well in the know on all Fast and the Furious. And she had said that after more time of having that cabinet and also having played and emulating the supercars, she's saying it's more like the supercars, like it's a tweaked version of that game. Mike Hawkert says, via the Cornercade, make sure everyone tell Biggie D to install both updates to the Fast and the Furious so we can get Cornercade comments through others. So if you guys see important ones for him, we'll bring them up that way, because YouTube and Google don't want to help us right now. But yeah, good to see you in the chat, Cornercade. Make sure everyone, don't just tell me, everyone who bought your Fast and the Furious this week, you got to have both updates. So there's more than one update we have to get. Because out of the box, I hear it's unplayable. Now, it would be interesting to find out, are the new... So they did the initial run, and then they did another production run. The one I purchased this week was their second production run. Does it have an update already out of the box? Is it playable out of the box? I'll find that out. Paul is saying Carlo isn't entirely wrong. The Cornercade, KFB dominates conversations with super chats and rants, entertaining, but not always healthy. Tony C says stand-up racing cabinets make no sense You don't stand while driving a car, RL. Tony C, I see what you're saying on that, because I mean, yeah, when you go to an arcade, you want to experience the sit-down racing arcade. But like for me, I just don't have the room. Where these stand-up arcades provide me a path up and down this room, where if I had a sit-down or I had a pinball machine, I wouldn't have anywhere to walk. This basically could not be a game room. So stand-ups do have a place, and I think that's why Arcade1up is doing more stand-up cabinets than sit-down cabinets. And they didn't even do a sit-down Fast and the Furious, is that there's just more demand for the stand-up for a home use. Now, obviously, in a real arcade, or if you have a huge home, you're going to want a sit-down racing cabinet. That is ideal. No doubt about it, Tony C. And so this is what we got. We got this excellent cabinet. I'm getting mine. It's supposedly supposed to be here on Tuesday. But again, I'm going to keep it in the box till February when I move. No sense to put it all together just to move it and potentially mess up the artwork or nick a corner trying to move this thing. So keep it safe in its box for a couple of months, 60 days, open it up, play it for a couple of weeks, and still have, a week or two left on my return policy because I got it at Walmart. So the extra $25 I spent at Walmart was well worth it, having that ability to return it if needed. But I'll let you guys know. I mean, you guys know me. I don't ever hold anything back. If I don't like this cabinet, I will let you guys know. And if I end up returning it, I'll let you guys know. But I typically don't. Once I purchase an arcade cabinet, pretty much everything you're in my home, I've never returned. The only Arcade1up I ever returned was the yellow Pac-Man Peasantcade. And that was because that yellow just, for me, stood out too much. The black just fits in a lot better in my game room. But everyone's a little different. I like the darker blacks. All yellow cabinets like the Pac-Man, they just stand out a little too much for me. Now, if I had a big game room and I had plenty of room and I had all my arcades in a back room away from like my main living room, then this wouldn't be a problem. But in my setup, I need darker colored cabinets that kind of match each other. That's just my personal preference. Bozo's saying you got yourself a Christmas gift, Biggie D. Absolutely, Bozo. I had treated myself. I was in the chat on Friday on Super Game Room Dudes, and I was questioning, should I buy this Fast and the Furious cabinet? And I think it was Mike Hawkhurts. He had said, treat yourself. And that's a good way to put it. Every once in a while, we just need to treat ourselves to something. We work all day during the week. We put in a lot of hours, and we dedicate our lives to these jobs to make money. Every once in a while, we need to dedicate our money to something for ourselves, something that we'll enjoy. And that's what I did with this situation with this Fast and the Furious. But it's cool. It's good to have a new Arcade1up in the home. Can't wait to get it. So we are an hour and 25 minutes. We're going a little long tonight, but that's okay because I noticed 19K Fox had a short stream tonight. Console Kits had a pretty short stream. I'm going to go a little bit longer tonight. I've just got plenty to talk about. And if you guys are willing to stick with me, then I'll keep it going. So I want to get into AtGames 4KP and AtGames 4K products. So a little bit of news on the AtGames front. If you guys were looking for an AtGames Legends Ultimate, you can now get one. So that is huge, guys. I know a lot of people out there have been, even though the AtGames Legends Ultimate has been around for a really long time, they've actually been sold out of them for a while now. And very surprising that they were sold out and that they had no inventory, but that has since changed. And I'd found this out, actually, if you guys ever get a chance to watch Arcade Talk, he's been doing a really good job of covering AtGames content. And a lot of what I discuss with you guys on these streams, I kind of get a lot of that stuff from Arcade Talk earlier in the week. He had posted this 4 hours ago and I saw it. That's why I'm bringing it up. But AtGames posted on the 8th, did you hear the Legends Ultimate is back in stock and shipping as soon as possible? So if you guys are interested in getting one of these, highly recommend them. They're $459 right now. This is an excellent arcade. If you haven't bought one yet, get one, because there's nothing like it. But I want to get into pinball, because pinball is really what they're pushing everyone towards right now. That's what they're devoting most of their resources and time and effort into as a company right now, is their new 4K line and their new 4K pinballs. And these things are freaking amazing. You know, I'm so fascinated by the AtGames 4K machines that they're coming out with. They're just so dang expensive. You know, they were coming in at $1,100 with $100 shipping the first week. That was $1,200. Then it went up to $1,300, $1,400. They're going to finalize an MSRP of regular full price of $1,500. It's just a lot of money. You know, I spent $400 on a Fast and the Furious. Even if I had gotten the Addams Family the week that they had announced it at $1,100 with $100 shipping, I could have had 3 Fast and the Furious cabinets for the price of one of these. So that just kind of puts everything in perspective of how expensive these things really are. But that has not deterred me from being interested in these, because they're just that cool. And I talk about how expensive they are, but they're really worth every penny. They're actually underpriced for what you're getting. They could easily, I don't think they could easily sell these for $2,000, but I think they're easily worth $2,000. And so I don't have a problem with their price at all. In fact, I think their prices are very good. They're just expensive because of what you're getting. Let's take a look here at the Addams Family first. So this was their very first cabinet release when they had started announcing these pinball tables. And this was the one that initially came in at $1,099 if you had gotten it the first week. It then went up to $1,199. It's now at $1,299 if you can order by the end of this month. And then it'll go up to its $1,499 price. Now, what's interesting about this is it was announced so long ago that their estimated ship date is coming up very quickly now. 12/25 to 1/31. Now, they had left a really big window, over a month window, which was smart, because they're probably going to end up using that later end of that window for their projected or actual ship date. Their estimated ship date was way too early of 12/25. There's no way they're going to get these in the homes in 15 days. There's no way that someone in 15 days is going to have an Addams Family at their doorstep. It's just not going to happen. These would have already started to ship, or the pre-orders would have already started receiving emails with their information by now that they were preparing to ship. That has not happened. So they're going to be later half of January is my prediction. And I hope that they make the 1/31 date. I think with everything else going on, with all these other new tables, the delays that they're having with Zen on trying to get these games optimized for their hardware, I hope it doesn't get pushed into February, but realistically it could. And I'm just kind of preparing for people for that it could end up being February. Hopefully they still make this 1/31. They're definitely not making the 12/25 though. So the next one, and I know there's a few people out there that have pre-ordered this. So I'm interested to see, you know, are you guys really getting ready and really pumped for yours? Because it's right around the corner. You're going to get your Addams Family. And are you worried about delays? Are you worried that it possibly could be delayed a month or two? And if it were, would that be a problem for you? Would that bother you? Mike Hockhurt says, AtGames were the ones that initially turned me on to buy stuff, so it's their fault, LOL. Thor KC, member of the channel, he says, I noticed tonight the ALP Micro is back down to $299 plus $50 shipping. The deal I got was slightly better, but it's definitely worthwhile, and I'm very pleased with it. Yeah, and I saw that you can do the OTG mode with the mini or the micro pinball. So if you want to play these newer Zen games, you can do it on the micro with a PC and just OTG to it. You got to have the VIBS board, though. Jason's saying, yeah, I recommend a second mortgage so you can pick up all the Buy Stuff Arcade's awesome products. Got a lot of fans of their products in the chat. And A-Tran's asking Thor, one thing, isn't the ALP pinball bigger, or are you talking about the countertop size? He's talking about the countertop, the really small micro, which just fits on a table. And it's only $300. Fair price. There's Arcade Talk, Star Wars Reviews. Hey, Biggie D, we were just talking about you. Ray is saying, I can't wait for the AtGames 4KP machine. So let's look at the next one. This is the Snoopy. So the Snoopy is really cool. I'm a huge fan of yellow. Yellow is one of my favorite colors. And I just talked about how I didn't like Pac-Man and how it stood out. I'm kind of the opposite with this Snoopy. And the reason that I feel like I'm a little bit opposite on this one is these things are so dang expensive. They're coming in at $1,400, $1,500. It's not like you're going to buy multiple of these probably. This is a item or a product you do want to stand out. This is one that you don't want to just kind of fit in the back and kind of not be seen. This is one that you want people to see, you want people to walk up to, because it's the one you spent the most amount of money on. It's the one that you're going to probably play the most. So this I'm okay with. And then it fits the Snoopy very well. So the bright yellow color isn't bad for me. Now, of my choice of these four, of this lineup, you know, I'm probably not going to pick the Snoopy, even though I like the look of the Snoopy. I think it is an excellent looking cabinet. I'm definitely a huge fan of the license. I'm definitely a huge fan of the table. I love the Snoopy table. I play it all the time. I probably still would not pick this one. This would not probably be my first choice. Maybe my second choice of those four we just saw, probably my second. But what's interesting about this one is I noticed for Snoopy what it comes with. So this is your collector's edition. Collector's edition means that it's basically going to be limited. They're not going to make a whole bunch of them. You know, once it's done, it's done. That's kind of like your last opportunity to get it. But what I found interesting with this is it comes with Peanut Snoopy Pinball, right? Not seeing any other Snoopy games. But they had released a new Snoopy title this week, and it's this Snoopy Charlie Brown Christmas. And this is a really cool looking table. It fits the Christmas theme. Now, they're definitely going to miss the Christmas window with this one, no doubt about it. I think we can confirm that right here. These ship estimated delivery date of 4/30. So this new Snoopy game that was just released by Zen Pinball, I was kind of surprised not to see it on this list. Maybe next week, now that this game is released, they'll add the Snoopy Christmas Charlie Brown Christmas table to this list. I'm hoping that they do. We saw and heard from Mike B that they had added the Next Generation to the Star Trek table after the fact. I definitely think that it's likely a Charlie Brown Christmas will be added to this Snoopy pinball after the fact as well. But this table just released on Friday, so we may need to give them a few more days to update the website. But I think it's highly likely you'll probably get this thrown in with Snoopy as well. May not happen, but highly likely. But you guys go check this one out. I was kind of looking at some video of it today. I haven't yet gotten an opportunity or a chance to play this one, but I definitely will be playing it this week. And I like more Snoopy tables. Also, I like the Christmas theme with it being the holiday season right now. So if you guys have purchased Snoopy Pinball and you liked it, definitely go check this one out. Newly released table. Came out on Friday. Also with this one, if you guys have purchased the Snoopy Pinball from AtGames, go ahead and download this table. You can play it on PS5, Xbox, Steam, play it portably on your Switch, play it portably on your Steam Deck. And that's what I've been doing a lot lately, is just playing these on the consoles to kind of prepare myself for hopefully the opportunity and the chance to play these on a 4KP AtGames pinball table very soon, if I can push myself to purchase one and to spend this kind of money. I think I'm very close, guys. And it's just the fact of putting myself in the debt and having to pay that debt off that's holding me back. But I think these items here are worth it, and these products are going to be worth it. Especially if you play it a lot. You know, if this is something you're going to play often and it's going to keep you at home, it's going to keep you away from the bars or spending a lot of money in places you probably shouldn't be, then it would all be worth it. You really can't put a price tag on that kind of stuff. So likely I'll end up getting it. Now here's the Dinosaur Dynasty. This is kind of a unique one because it doesn't have a huge license behind it. It's just using this Natural History Dinosaur Dynasty license that it has for its in-house tables. And there's been a lot of speculation. Maybe this ends up at Costco. Maybe it ends up at Sam's. And maybe they could do a lower price on this one because you're not getting that big, heavy-hitting license behind it that they have to pay for. So I'm hoping that we do get Dinosaur Dynasty at $1,000 or less, or in store somewhere. You know, and that would also open up the opportunity for other financing type options as well. That's another thing I find kind of strange. They're charging these high-end prices for these products, but they're not really offering any type of good financing options on their website. I think they could really take advantage and partner with like some bank or a firm or one of those types of places to offer some financing options to their customers. This would be nice. It ended up in a Sam's because it would, allow you to do those types of things and get really good interest rates and spread it out over, a year, 2 years, and it not cost you a bunch of money. So Dinosaur Dynasty is going to have its place, but I think this table's only going to do well if it does what I said. They lower the price and they get it into stores. Otherwise, there's just not a really big or good reason to get this one, unless you're just like a huge fan of dinosaurs and Jurassic Park's coming and you're buying Jurassic Park and those are the tables you're going to be playing, then maybe this would be a good fit for you for that reason or those reasons. Let's see here. Thor is saying, Carlo, I was going to look for the best deal on ALP, but not having much room and I stretched on my money. Went with the ALP Micro, and I'm glad I did. That's a good route to go. I mean, you're spending a fraction of the money. You could still OTG your Zen tables to that and still get a similar experience using your PC. Atran's saying, talking to Star Wars reviews and Arcade Talk, he says, right on, man. I'm just hanging in there with cool people. And Thor says, I put it on a wooden fold-in TV tray table, and it fits sideways with just enough room on the other side for my iPhone. So not bad for a $20 workaround. I use a TV tray whenever I do my live streaming of like my iArcade or my ALU or things like that. I'll use a TV tray to like put a monitor or a computer on sometimes. And I'll set up like a station or a workstation for a live stream, but it's just like a temporary one. Break it all down right after the show. Mike Hockert says, hey, is anyone ever connected to the Steam Deck directly to the Gamer Pro to play Zen games? That's a good question. Maybe someone in there can answer that for you, Mike. So Star Trek. So of these four, Star Trek's my favorite. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I think the artwork, even though it could have been better, definitely could have done the OG, the Next Generation, even Deep Space Nine. Those all would have been great tables or good artworks to choose for this table. They went with the J.J. Abrams movies, which, okay, I'm okay with it. You know, the more time that's gone by now, what has been 2 or 3 weeks, it's grown on me a little bit more. Also, I'm seeing these new Star Trek pinball tables releasing on Friday, and it fits. You know, there's the Kelvin Timeline pinball table, and this artwork matches that table perfectly. So I don't think, even though they could have done other artworks, I think this one's okay. And this is still my favorite one of the 4. Also with this one, you're getting a pretty good games list right out of the box that comes with it. You're getting a total of 4 Star Trek games. So you're getting the new Kelvin Timeline that just released on Friday. You're getting Discovery, Deep Space Nine, and you're getting the Next Generation. So you're getting 4 Star Trek tables. 3 of those were newly released. They just released this week on Friday. And I'd gotten a chance to play those yesterday and today on my PS5. The Kelvin Timeline, it's okay. I like it. Surprisingly, I've never watched Discovery. Discovery is my favorite table of the 3. And I really like, so when you play it on a console, it has like a background and has animations going on around the table, and the animations and everything going on behind the table is really cool in Discovery. So that's, I think, the reason why I like it the most. And I used to watch Deep Space Nine, but I think Deep Space Nine, maybe I need some more playtime with it. But Discovery right now is my favorite. But they're all 3 really, really fun tables. I'm having a good time with them. And it fits what I want, which is a sci-fi table. Like if I couldn't have Star Wars, I would want Star Trek. And I know a lot of people want Star Wars, and that's kind of what I want to talk about next. So Arcade Talk says you do get an extra tables on Dinosaur Dynasty. Oh, okay. Yeah, now that is something I did not mention, Arcade Talk, and I'm glad that you had brought that up, is that you are getting some unreleased tables with that one. So you're getting 4 unreleased games here, Antarctica, Africa, Deep Ocean, and Egypt. Now those aren't, this is going to ship, let's see, estimated arrival date of 4/30. And this just says 24, so it doesn't say what month in 2024. So you literally could get the Dinosaur Dynasty, and those games may not be playable the day that it arrives. You know, those, we don't know yet when these tables are releasing. They could release this time next year. We don't know that. But thanks for pointing that out, Team McCloskey. Tony C says, Jar Jar Trek. J.J. Abrams, Fever Dream. Carlos says the new natural history tables coming to regular ALP owners too, which is good. So that's a good point. Good thing to point out, Carlo, is if you have the HD or you have the micro, you will be able to play those tables, those brand new release tables on the older HD products. So very good. Jason saying the Natural History Pack 2 and 3 plus the rare tables. Hopefully they do a release of all of them. I don't anticipate them doing more than that. Kevin's here. He's saying, I'm so glad they released the Dinosaur Dynasty pinball skin because nobody is going to buy it. And I'll be able to get it at a reasonable price. That's what I'm hoping, Kevin. I'm hoping nobody buys this, ends up in a store for $1,000. That would be huge for me because any money I can save on one of these, I'm all about it. So next, I want to talk about this leak. So we had Michael B on the show last week on Sunday, and this leak had come out, I think, the day or 2 prior. So we had discussed this, and Mike had thought maybe Monday last week, Tuesday last week, they would have given us what this would be. But I think I have an idea of what happened. So when they released this, if you guys go into the comments of the Facebook post of, I'm not sure where else they shared it, but I was looking at the Facebook post and I was looking at the comments, and I saw a lot of really unhappy customers, people that have pre-ordered Addams Family or have pre-ordered Snoopy, and they're like, will you please quit doing this where you're just releasing tables week after week? Why don't you do it all at one time? Because you're just really making us unhappy. So I think what they're doing is they're listening to their customer base, and they're seeing that majority of people are not liking this business model or this idea of releasing tables week after week. So what I think is going on is I think that they're going to hold back on this maybe now, and save this for next year. Kind of let people enjoy what they've already announced. Let people kind of figure out, game plan on what they want to get from these four, rather than complicating it anymore. Because it seems like it's counterproductive to do a promotion strategy like this, like they've been doing. Now, maybe they wait till January or they wait till February to announce this table, and maybe they got a couple more lined up at that time, and they can announce, 3 or 4 tables at one time. That may be the better way to go. So we may not get an announcement this week or by the end of this year. All this hype behind this new table that they wanted to announce last week may not happen. I had wanted South Park. I had talked to you guys and Mike B last week about how much, if it was my choice, how much I would have wanted to see South Park. And I think that would have been like their best option, or would have been my number one pick. But I think I'm seeing the writing on the wall right now that they're just listening to the customers. They want to kind of take a step back and just kind of let these 4 marinate a little bit. Let the current lineup kind of sit as is. And then that way they can kind of please everyone. Make it fair, right? They want to make it fair for everyone. Someone goes out and they rush out. They're one of their best customers and they pre-order Addams Family. But then they're a huge Star Trek fan. They're like a lifelong Star Trek fan. They never had any idea that Star Trek could be coming. And then they find out Star Trek came. That's probably, I can see where these people are coming from. Maybe they weren't a fan of Star Trek, but maybe they were going to announce Star Wars last week and they had to have Star Wars. Well, now they've not released that announcement, and they still got a happy Addams Family customer. So I can see where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing. But I saw someone in the chat. They're like, Biggie, no. He's saying, I hope you're wrong. And I hope I'm wrong too. I hope we still get, because I don't have any skin in the game. I have not yet purchased one of these. I have not put any money down yet. So I'm sitting pretty. I benefit greatly if they announce a new table this week, but others do not. And I think they want to make it fair for everyone, and they want to give everyone an equal opportunity to get the table that they want. So I don't think we're going to get this coming soon announcement this week, but I could be wrong. These are just my thoughts, my predictions, my speculation on this stuff. I do not know. So hopefully I am wrong, Cyan. I hope I am. Jason saying they need, the more they release and not deliver, the more they're going to get heat. Yeah, so if they had already released Addams Family, it was already in homes right now, and they were doing this, it may have had a different effect or a better outcome than if they were doing this while those pre-orders are still outstanding. That it's a different situation. However, ignoring the announcement wouldn't be wise either. They should still announce, then rest until everyone has theirs. So yeah, they may be in, you make up a good point, or make a good point there, Jason, that they may be in a position where they've already, released this coming soon video. It's too late. You can't not announce it now. That could be bad too, because then people are like, well, what was going to be that announcement? Maybe I should wait. Maybe I should wait until I find out what that announcement was before I buy anything. And you don't want that to happen if you're at games either. So they're in a predicament. They got to make a decision. They got to make a call. What's going to be the best one? Carlos says the pricing model is tied to production runs. That's why they do it the way that they do it. Atrian saying probably the only table I would be interested in with that lineup would be the Snoopy table. LOL. But the price is way too much. Papa Brad's Gaming says the next one will be sweet. And I hope it's South Park. So let's wrap up this stream, guys, with a little bit of New Wave Toys talk. I had given away a New Wave Toys to in a giveaway. It was a random drawing. Carl O won that. Hope you're enjoying your Ghost and Goblins, Carl. I'm definitely enjoying mine. You know, I've knew what I was getting into, and I knew what this was before I opened the box, because you know I can see these images and I can do my research on the website to find out what I'm getting. But I'll tell you guys, once you open this thing up and you actually start getting hands-on with it, it's totally different. If you like it before you open it, you're going to like it that much better once you do open it. That's the only way I can put it. It's kind of unique too, right? So I have these 3/4 scale arcades, these really big ones that I walk up to and I play, and I really enjoy them, but they also take up a lot of room. They also cost a lot of money. So I'm very limited on how often I can get them. I'm also have to be very careful on how much I spend on them because of how expensive they are. The New Wave Toys, you don't have all that, right? These things are really tiny. They don't take up a lot of room. You can buy as many as you want, you know, space-wise. The cost isn't as much. They're only about 160, you know, if you're lucky, you can get them for 100, 150. So we're talking, you know, a quarter of the price, or, you know, a fifth of the price of Arcade1ups. So not as much thought goes into having to purchase one. But then you open it up, you have it in your home, and then you get to actually experience what these things are all about. And it's hard to get a lot of that experience across in words, or for you guys to feel that without owning one. But I kind of do the best I can. So it's this little tiny arcade, and you can set it up on just a small table or your countertop, and you can play it directly on the arcade, just like you would an Arcade1up. But of course, it's going to be real tiny, and you're going to have your finger on the button. You're going to have your little bitty joystick. But surprisingly, it actually works. You can actually play Ghost and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts on that little tiny little joystick and those little buttons. It does work. Now, one problem I notice, or something that's going on when I'm playing it, is I'm worried I'm going to break the joystick, or I'm worried I'm going to break a button playing it that way. So I don't know how often I'll actually play these cabinets in that way. Majority of the time spent playing the actual games will probably be played in the way that you're seeing it in this image, where you have the cabinet kind of to the left of you or to the right, just sitting there as a display to kind of give you that visual in your head, and that thought of, okay, I can see and feel what a real Ghost and Goblins would look like if I was in the arcade, or I had a real Ghost and Goblins arcade cabinet in my house. Even though it's very tiny, I'm still visually getting that experience of the cabinet, which is very cool, right? And then I plug in an HDMI cable behind it, plug that into a TV. It brings the game off of that tiny screen onto the big screen. Then I plug in a USB controller to the back of it on one of your USB inputs, and I can play the game not on those little tiny controls, but with an actual game controller. And I had pulled out this old GameCube USB controller I had bought to play some GameCubes on my PC 5-6 years ago. Haven't been using it. Pulled it out. Works perfectly with the Ghost and Goblins. I think it'll probably work with all the New Wave toys. I don't want to say that though, because I don't know for sure. But I imagine if it works with one, it'll probably work with all of them. Also, this controller has a lot of light up to it, and it really brings out the colors of the cabinet. You can kind of see it in this picture. And I've just really been enjoying just sitting in front of this table, playing Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins, trying to get high scores like I do on my iArcade, I do on my AtGames, I do on my Marvel Superheroes, I do on my Final Fight. I'm trying to get those scores on this one. And surprisingly, I'm doing really well. And I'm not seeing any differences in the ROM or the gameplay. It's all matching up exactly as it should. So I'm very happy with it so far. Also, something else I like about it is, yeah, I can press the start button on my controller to coin in, but you guys may see those little coins to the left of the cabinet sitting there. I actually take those little coins, I put them in the coin slot every time I want to coin up. And it just kind of gives me that funny little feeling like I'm playing a real arcade. And these are just like raw initial impressions of my first New Wave Toys product. So I hope that helps you guys in your buying decision. If you guys are interested in a New Wave Toys or you're kind of on the fence of whether or not you should buy one, hopefully that kind of helps you understand the experience and what these things are about. But I'm having a lot of fun with mine. Really cool company. We talked last week about those shirts that they were going to be releasing as well. That was a pre-order. Looks like now the pre-order is up on those shirts and those hoodies. I was thinking about possibly, guys, getting a couple of these and doing them as a giveaway for the 50th live stream, but then I went and spent my money on that Fast and the Furious. So I ended up not doing it. But if you guys ever want to, reach out to me and kind of help support a giveaway in the future, let me know. I'd watched a cool live stream yesterday with Sheline Gaming where Ezekiel, the Retro Ranger, one of her viewers, had actually helped support the giveaway by providing the giveaway prizes. So if you guys ever want to do something like that, definitely let me know. I'm all about giveaways and helping schedule and do those. Sometimes it's just hard getting the products to give away. So if you guys are about that, let me know. I definitely want to do as many giveaways as possible. And that was the t-shirt I thought would be a good one, but it just didn't line up financially with me this week to be able to do it. These are kind of pricey too at $30. I think they were worth it, but ended up not doing it. I'm going to think of something though for a giveaway for next Friday. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Like I said, it probably will end up being something really small. So kind of something like that My Arcade giveaway that we did, where I had won that little My Arcade. It was only like a $15 prize, but it was kind of fun to give it away, and it was still related to home arcade, so it fit, what we enjoy and what we like. So maybe I'll come up with something like that again. But we'll see. But definitely tune in, guys, next Friday for that. Be number 50. So I've been doing this 50 live streams in. That's just crazy to think about that much time has gone by since I started doing these. But it's really cool. I'm halfway to 100 and something I want to celebrate. Let's see if anyone's got anything to say here on our way out before we close out the stream. Thor KC says pre-ordering the VIP code. I got the Ghost and Goblins combo and the Berserk Frenzy combo for about $124 each. At that price, I can probably resell one of those for the cost of both. And I'm glad you brought that up, Thor KC, here at the end of the stream, because I thought about this will be in my review as well. Let me bring up that website. Whenever I was opening the Ghost and Goblins, I had a really hard time opening it because it comes in this like cellophane wrap. So you get it out of the cardboard box, and then you've got this box right here wrapped in cellophane. So it's sealed, and these are collectibles, right? So it got me thinking it's like really tough to open it because I'm like, wouldn't it be worth a lot more if it's collectible, if it's unopened? So, like talking about reselling these things, if you're really interested in these and you just have to have one, but you also want to collect them, it's almost like you have to buy two. You have to buy one to keep sealed and one to play. And that's something I'm going to talk about in my review it's interesting because it's really tough to open one because of that collectible value that these are going to have. Atran, he is saying, I am far from doing an arcade tour video as my Arcade1ups are all over the place, LOL. I'm going to have one in a box, and I'm about to start wrapping mine for my move here in a couple months, even though I'm just moving within the complex. I'll probably still wrap mine up in some plastic wrap. Just makes it a little easier to hold them when you carry them. Atran saying, I have a T2, Frogger, Star Wars in the kitchen dining room, then the Ridge Racer and Simpsons soon to be TMNT in my living room. And Science saying, so it's normal home arcade, LOL. And Atran's also saying, I got a Beacon Arcade1up modded Star Wars control deck for my T2 that I'm converting into a flight PC cabinet based on an 80s themed arcade cabinet. Very cool. A lot of people have done their mods on the Star Wars. You know, a lot of people weren't getting the Fast and the Furious because they were getting their driving cabinet experiences from their Star Wars. I'd never bought the Star Wars, so this will be my first driving cabinet with Fast and the Furious, and hopefully it'll be just one that I need to get and mod it and play all my driving games on that one cabinet. Mike Hockert says, anybody want to use the lawn chair? Let's see here. Jason is saying, I have an expired bottle of Tums and a half-empty container of walnut Minwax stain. Want to have a giveaway? That's funny. Papa Brad's Live says, fact, I left my Qbert sealed for a long time and the battery died from never being played. So that's another thing, another factor to think about. You're collecting these things, you know, battery, how long are those going to last if unplayed in that box? But anyone that knows collectibles, you want to keep them sealed. So it's all about collector value more so than playability, I think. But you guys have a great start to your week. Great Monday. If you guys are going to be hanging out still tonight, playing your arcades or staying up late, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hopefully we get some big AtGames news next week on that announcement. You know, we didn't get last week. Hopefully get that this week. Also, we're going to continue to talk CES leading up to January, first week of January here in a few weeks. Hopefully some of the other major content creators in this space will also start ramping up their discussion for CES, and maybe we can get some new information from them. Because a lot of people in our community, some of the bigger channels have inside sources, inside information on some of this stuff. And I gained some of my knowledge from those people. So I'm hoping that they start to ramp up their CES discussion so we can all get more information and, you know, get more excited about what may be coming. Other than that, you know, New Wave Toys continue to keep an eye on their website for Christmas gifts. We're less than 2 weeks now until Christmas. So if you guys are interested in getting your New Wave Toys, definitely check out their website. You're getting very close to that date, I think, if you want to get yours under the Christmas tree before Christmas Day. But other than that, appreciate you guys joining me. Had a lot of fun. As always, Sunday evening live stream. Appreciate everyone who's joined. And I will see everyone in the next one. Have a good night. Bye-bye.